Happy Monday, guys. So, yes, we are still continuing with the same standard. The standard is MGSE4G1. Draw points, lines, line segments, rays, angles. Those angles are right, acute, obtuse, and perpendicular and parallel lines. Identify these in two-dimensional figures. So far we have learned about right and acute angles. And today we're going to learn about obtuse angles. And then you're going to have an assignment where you have to identify all three angles. All right, so remember, what is an angle? Two rays that share the same endpoint form an angle. The point where the rays intersect is called the vertex of the angle. The two rays are called the sides of the angle. So again, we already know about right angles. A right angle is an angle measuring exactly 90 degrees. We have two examples at the bottom that are both right angles. Another review, we have acute angles. An acute angle is an angle measuring between 0 and 90 degrees. Basically, any degree that measures less than 90 degrees. The following angles are examples of acute angles. We have an angle with 18 degrees, 45, 33, 88, 22.5, and 7 degrees. They are all less than 90 degrees, so they are acute angles. So today's angle that we're going to learn about is an obtuse angle. An obtuse angle is an angle measuring between 90 and 180 degrees. So basically any degrees greater than 90 but less than 180 degrees is an obtuse angle. So we have some examples at the bottom. We have 135 degrees, 93 degrees, 174 degrees, 117.8 degrees, 110 degrees, 157 degrees. These are all angles that are greater than 90 degrees but less than 180 degrees. So we have obtuse angles. All right, so here is a review. Look at this angle. It measures 54 degrees. What type of angle do you think it is? That's right. It is an acute angle. Okay, here's another one. We have an angle that measures exactly 90 degrees. What type of angle do you think we have? You are right again. It is a right angle. Good job. And one more. We have an angle measuring 130 degrees. What type of angle do you think we have? That's right. It is an obtuse angle. Good job, guys. So now is your time to experiment with our sheet of paper, and we're going to continue to measure and find obtuse angles, right angles, and acute angles. So one thing, remember with acute angles, if you're using a sheet of paper, if you find an acute angle, one of the sides will go inward of the right angle. Because remember, here is our right angle in the corner. If it is an acute angle, one of the sides will go inward towards the right angle. So what about obtuse angles? With an obtuse angle, if you find one and we measure it up against our right angle, one of the sides will go outward. It will go out a little bit like this. So it's not going to line up exactly with the right angle. You're going to have a side that goes out from the right angle. So let's see what that looks like. So you all know that I like to use things that we use in real life. So remember, with right angles, we went around and found objects that were in our homes that measured right angles. And then yesterday, we wrote out, this weekend, we wrote out letters of the alphabet to identify right angles and acute angles. So today we're going to look at some clocks. And we're going to, again, use our sheet of paper, and we're going to measure the angles that are on these clocks to decide which clocks show right angles, acute angles, and obtuse angles. So here we go. So here's our first clock that we're going to look at. We're trying to decide again if it has a right angle, acute, or obtuse angles. So I have my paper. I'm going to line my corner up because remember, this corner has a right angle. So when I line it up with this clock with the angle, notice it does not line up exactly to a right angle. One of the angles that are right here goes inward. So we know if one of the sides go inward, what type of angle do we have? Acute angle. So this clock shows an acute angle. Here's our next clock. Again, we're going to line up our corner. And this time, one of the sides goes outward. And remember, I said if it goes outward, we have an obtuse angle. So this clock shows an angle that is obtuse. So your assignment for today, you're going to do the same thing. I have already uploaded into my Google Classroom an assignment where you have to identify all 3 angles. You will have 6 different clocks, and you are to use your sheet of paper, measure the angles that are on the clocks, and you're going to write underneath the clock or type underneath the clocks which clocks are right, acute, or obtuse. Have fun, guys. I can't wait to see your answers.